and welcome to My TV, brought to you by www.myafricanidea.com. Throughout this series, we'll be looking at Afro pioneers. They're basically pioneers with a distinct African focus and flair. Our inaugural guest will be Pastor Jerry Uchechukwu Eze. PJ is the founder and pastor of Streams of Joy Ministries and author of world-renowned Streams of Joy devotional. Before this, he was employed by World Bank and United Nations, amongst others. He currently hosts 2 radio programs in syndication in Nigeria, and he and his beautiful wife, Emma Jerry, are blessed with an equally beautiful daughter, Samara. Welcome, Pastor.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Julia.
It's a delight to have you on our show,
Same
and welcome
here.
to our home.
Same here, same here.
So, talk to us about Streams of Joy devotional and its presence in 5 continents. I mean, that's a pretty big feat.
That's right, that's right. You know how it is when you start a thing not knowing how far it's going to go? Yeah. That's exactly the story of Streams of Joy. I mean, just about a year and a half, yes. God put the vision in my heart, you know, because I just know that there are a lot of devotionals out there that basically deal on Christian discipleship. You know, get up and read and get more devoted to God. But I realized that there was a gap that was missing, and that was the ability to translate the Word, that is the Bible, into our everyday living. I want to see the Bible in my office. You know, that's not fat and big, but I just want to see it. I want to apply it to my career, apply it to my business, apply it to all of that. And so it was something that God showed me was a yawning gap in our daily devotionals. So, and then I decided to bridge the gap. And so, of course I wasn't expecting it to be that big anyway. You know, it was just something I was doing because I was very passionate about it. It's something I loved doing. The rest is history. Then I reckon that what may have happened was that because we had the hard copies that came out first, and then secondly we now started sharing them on BlackBerry, you know, that's a social media. And so a lot of people now started sharing it on Facebook, on Twitter, and somehow it went viral. By the time I knew what was happening, I think the net actually broke.
I was going to say, is it true that you got, at one point you had so many subscriptions that it actually shorted your BlackBerry and it brought down your phone?
Of course. Of course I did. I did. And I still do have. And the problem now is the problem of taking in more contact, more subscribers, because on a daily basis you find people subscribing from the things that you just see happen, you know, and all that. So from all over the world, from America to the Pacific to Asia and all that. So you have all of these subscribers, and what are they looking for? They're looking for the Word of God. And I think it's amazing to know that, you know, making it something that every one person is eager to have, you know, for me it's a win-win. It's a win-win, that's right.
That is wonderful. I've got to say, you've achieved a heck of a lot in just a very short period of time. Did you always know that this is where your life would go? Did you always know that this is the path you were destined to take?
Well, should I answer yes? It's not a yes or no answer, yeah? I always know that I loved God very much, and I knew that I wasn't going to be your everyday sit down and walk away from church Christian. I wanted to work for God. In fact, because of that, way back in university, a couple of people thought I was very ambitious. You know, they thought I liked leadership. You know, I just wanted to lead, but it wasn't about leadership. It was about a fire in me. Well, there was something I was passionate about. You know, the worst thing you could do to me is to tell me to come to service every Sunday and do nothing for God. So on that level, I knew that I had something to do for God. But did I know that it's going to come to a time when my life is going to revolve around this? I'm going to be traveling to countries of the world, you know, sharing the Word and then having the devotional. I didn't know that part. I always I knew I was going to work for God, but was I going to do it on a full-time basis? Apparently, I would just say no. But apparently, I also believe that God exposed me to these areas because He wanted me to have what I call a holistic ministry. And so it's not a top-down approach of a holier-than-thou image. It's someone who's been there. I've been there. I've said it. So I'm deploying all my experiences that the Lord has had me go through in the world into the work of God. And trust me, it's a perfect mix.
That is wonderful. See, when you say you've been there, I mean, talk us through that more. What have you been through, your experiences, your personal childhood? Because one of the key issues that we're exploring is that Afro pioneers are not necessarily born. Some of them are made by their circumstances. So tell us how exactly you have personal experience of what your parishioners are going through.
Absolutely. I'm someone who's been through a whole lot of, would I call it rejection while growing up? Because My mom is a single parent, and you know, several years ago, it's not now that single parenthood is a bit fashionable. You know, several years ago, and people get to hear that your mom's a single parent and all that. In fact, one of those times, I do not forget while growing up that a certain child had to ask me, go and bring your father. So it was a case of people looking at your face and calling you a bastard. So that's the way I was socialized. I mean, growing up and getting to hear all those ridiculous things said about you. So that's the kind of guy I am, you know. So sometimes they come with a lot of, you know, puncturing of your self-esteem, you know. You just feel like a lot of things are being taken away from you and all that. But then those are the kind of things, while growing up, that's the kind of experiences. And then we're very poor people, you know. Yes, the kind of poverty that poor people will tell you you're poor. So that's actually the kind of poverty
where you aspire to be poor.
That's right. You understand what I'm saying, you know. So even people who are poor recognize that you're poor.
Oh, wow.
So that's the kind of poverty we're into. So, but I was one person who didn't see where I was, but I saw where I wanted to be. So I never used to pay attention to where I was. So each and every one moment, I'll see someone who's better than me. I'm going like, oh, those are the guys I should be associating with. Those are the guys I should be with. So that was me as a child. I didn't know where that came from. And somehow I weathered through the storm, met the right kind of people, strategic relationships that came at the time I needed them. I guess that's one of the greatest assets that I have. Sometimes people think that I am absolutely favored, so to speak, from God. But I think that I have strategic relationships that work when I need them. So, and then part of it is just, I met this nice people, and then they decided to take me through school and all of that. And then the rest of it is history. And so having gone through that time, and you know there's something poverty does to you and all of that. Poverty makes you think. Poverty makes you very creative, you know. Poverty makes you want to push the ceiling off your head. Poverty makes you begin to, you know, what it is that you know, when you're born into wealth, you know, you think, I just have this and this snap of a finger. But I know that I don't have what you have, so I'm going to work 10 times more than you've worked. And all of that, there's a hunger there. So that's exactly how I was able, so how I was socialized, how I grew up, everything affected who I am today. And so thinking back on it, I'm a very grateful person. Anyway, you see me, I'm a very grateful person. By the way, I love to laugh, you know, because it brings, for me, laughter for me, for others, they might just see it as, oh, let me just laugh. But for me, it's really laughter.
Is that part of why you call it streams of joy?
Oh, maybe.
On a subconscious level. Like.
Yeah, but you know how it is that it just sinks into me that I just want to be happy. Because I've been through pain. I know what it means to eat the same kind of meal every day. And I'm not kidding you. Eat the same kind of meal. You eat Gary in the morning, you eat Gary in the this thing. And then when the soup sours, you understand? I remember the experiences we had while growing up when our soup was sour. And then what my mom would do was just basically just to put pepper in the soup. You know, apparently that's why I love pepper.
Oh.
So my mom would put pepper in the soup. And then because it's hot, so you won't just be feeling the sour taste.
You just be feeling the
spice.
spice.
The spice, yeah. So that's exactly, those are the kind of things I've been through. And so they made me know that this is not the kind of life I want to have my children live and all of that. And so with strategic relationship, you know the truth is that when I kept living like someone who grew up under a single parent, everybody saw it. But the day I made up my mind that that does not determine who I am, no one saw me like that.
So self-perception
and
mentoring and having that hunger is some of the things that you think really make you the upper pioneer that
you captured it all.
That is fantastic. Right. Thank you so much, Pastor Jerry. So just because I know that you have a real passion for youth, and maybe it's to do with your background as well, but what opportunities and what difficulties do you think are facing youth in Nigeria right now, and how do you reach out to them and to try and...
I think, you know, recently I was asked to come and join the NESG team, that is the Nigeria Economic Summit Group team, and of course, fortunately, I was asked to take on the emerging leaders in civil society organizations. I'm very, very excited at the fact that I'm going to be talking to emerging leaders. The truth is, now, let me give some credit to the young people. There's a transfer of ideology, you know, that we are inheriting in Nigeria that does not define the typical Nigerian youth. Trust me, there are several perceptual thresholds that does not describe who we are, but that's what we're inheriting. And so, permit me to say, the young Nigerian knows who he or she is. there's a people that we are that we know in Nigeria. Because the typical Nigerian, I'm sorry to say, is focused, because that's not what people think about us. You know, the typical Nigerian is focused. The typical Nigerian has a sense of tenacity of purpose. The typical Nigerian young person is creative. But we're busy inheriting several perceptual thresholds that are across opposites with who we are. Now, the typical Nigerian youth is going through what I call identity crisis. So we are trying to get every night, because the problem is not with what has been provided for you. Because if you don't know who you are, some things are provided for you and you're going to mess it up. So what we're doing right now is to try to ask ourselves a question: who are we? The answer lies within. You understand? So who are we? You know, understanding who you are goes a long way, because when we look at the Wilbur quadrants, that's what we call Wilbur quadrant for leadership, and we're saying that the first step in actually attaining leadership is self-awareness. So if you can become self-aware, then you can manage yourself. Then if you can manage yourself, then trust me, you can be ready for leadership in the outside community. So for me, what the challenge is for the typical Nigerian youth is not even about no opportunity, no education, is exactly who are you? So if you know who you are, what set of values do you live by? If we can understand that and enshrine it into, tell me, the world is just our oyster.
I think that's a great, powerful message to go into. There's definitely self-awareness, self-knowledge, improve your self-perception, and align yourself with the right people.
That's right.
Okay, so that's great. And is there anybody out there that you'd like to give a shout out to, say hello to? I know you're a very popular guy in Nigeria and worldwide, actually. So is there any special message that you want to?
Oh yeah. I have a lot of people. Of course, I'm going to start with my very pretty wife.
Cool. I had the privilege of meeting your wife.
I would say very big hello to her. You know how it is. She inspires me in very deep ways. Yeah, what I mean, and I'm not kidding you, in very deep ways. She inspires me in deep ways. And I also want to say a very big hello to my daughter.
Of course.
Yeah, you know how it is. Sometimes I just look at her and I keep asking myself, will she be like me? Will she defy the odds? Will she run against the wind? What will she be like, you know, and all that? And I'm telling myself, I know she's going to be better. Now, if she's having the opportunities I never heard. I never wore a Pampers and she is wearing one.
Wow.
I never flew an airplane until I was maybe like in my mid-20s. Now she has had an opportunity of even flying when she was a few months old. You know, and all that. I never went abroad, but she was born abroad. So all of that. So Samara, for what you represent in my life, the laughter you brought and you bring,
and she is a smiler.
You understand, and all of that, and for the noise you've been making since you came back home, you know, and all that, you know, for just pushing down everything in my house. For pushing down everything in the house. And you know, when Samara is around, oh, trust me, don't worry. So Samara, I just want to say Daddy loves you. Thank you very much for coming into our world. We love you very much. And then to all the subscribers of Streams of Joy, I want to say thank you for making me who I am. You know, it's because of them. It's because of them. You know, the name is resonating around the world. It's because you decided to say this is worth it. And to everyone who's inspired me in very deep ways, I want to say I'm grateful. You know, for the people I love and the people who love me, I'm very grateful. For the strategic relationships that have taken me to the next level, I am grateful. You know, for very fantastic people who think I have something to offer my generation, I am very grateful. Like I said before, I'm a very grateful guy. And so I am very grateful for everything that you've done for me. And please keep doing it. Don't wake up one morning and I say you won't do it again. Just keep doing it. So thank you very much for who you are and what you represent in my life. Love you.
Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you
very much. It's been a pleasure meeting you. And if you could just sum up one word of inspiration for all those Afro-pioneers to be that are looking to you for some sort of motivation or inspiration, what would that word be?
Well, I would always say that the future is not some place that we're going to, but the one we create for ourselves. The pathway to the future changes both the creator and the destination. So, permit me to say, the future begins now.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.
Okay. So till next time, thank you very much for watching My TV, brought to you by www.myafricanidea.com.